Welcome everybody. My name is Martin Peřina and today I'd like to talk about AAA-JDBC provider and how it helps us to manage local users and groups. Today we will talk about history, how it was before oVirt 3.6, how can we manage users, groups, and password in 3.6, and also some configuration, advanced configuration of new domain using this new provider. So prior to oVirt 3.6, we have following options to manage users and groups. By default, after installation, so-called internal domain was pre-installed and configured, and this domain contains only one user, admin, which enables you to log in into web admin or user portal, and it was the only user that you need to start with. This internal domain was provided by legacy internal provider, and this legacy provider supports only one user, no groups, and the only thing you could do was to change the password of this user. The other type that we provided was LDAP domain, which was able to plug your users and groups stored in LDAP servers into oVirt, and using those providers, you were able to connect unlimited numbers of users and groups into oVirt. Users and group management on LDAP servers were done by LDAP server tools, and oVirt just used those users, groups, and their membership. In oVirt 3.6 on the LDAP domain side, there is nothing new. Everything worked as before. But in oVirt 3.6, we introduce a database domain. These authentication domains are provided by newly developed AAA-JDBC provider. And this provider allows you to store your users and groups in PostgreSQL database, and those users and groups plugs into oVirt using the same API as LDAP users. Another interesting feature is that part of this provider is command line tool, which enables to manage your users, groups, password, membership, and so on. So it's a complete tool to manage your users and groups. And also part of the upgrade from oVirt 3.5 is that internal domain is converted to be used by this AAA-JDBC provider so you can add unlimited number of users and groups into this internal domain, and you no longer need any LDAP servers if you don't want to use it. During the upgrade, the password of admin user from the internal domain is preserved. So after upgrade, you will not notice anything. Everything should work as before. Part of those AAA-JDBC is that it allows complete user group management, so you can create, edit, delete users, set their password, set the account expiration, account locking, assign users to groups, also complete group management. Everything can be done by command line tools, as we will show later. And this authentication data stored in PostgreSQL database is plugged into oVirt using a extension API. So when you will work in web admin or user portal, you will not notice that those users are not provided by the LDAP server or database. It's just the same API, and those users and group will just be visible. Another interesting thing that using these new AAA-JDBC providers, you can define unlimited number of domains if you need. So you can, for example, define your domain per each department if you need it, and everything can be done using this AAA-JDBC provider. More information you can find at the AAA-JDBC feature page, and we can continue into some demos. So as I said before, the after upgrade to 3.6, the internal domain is converted into AAA-JDBC provider, and you can easily log into web admin as before. So if we take a look at the web admin, you can now see that we are logged as user admin. And we can take a look at groups, and if we take a look at internal domain, you will see that there is admin user. So if you want, for example, to add a new user or edit user, we can use new provided command line tool, oVirt AAA-JDBC tool. If we take a look at it, so oVirt AAA-JDBC tool. Help show you the help for this tool. So there are several modules. We will go through them. So for now, let's say that we want to add a new user. So we'll execute a JDBC tool user add now username, and we can specify some additional attributes. So for example, attribute first name John. So now we can see user is added successfully, and we can take a look at information that this user contains. So we will execute user show command, and you can see there is created user with username John Doe with first name and last name. Now we forgot to enter email, so it's easy. We will just user edit username, and we will add the attribute email. So user was edited successfully. If we take a look at this, user is added into email was updated in database. Now that's what we did, and those information are stored in database, and now the engine can use it. What's more important? Okay, so once again, I just received a message that you can't see what am I doing. So once again, can you see the Can you see the terminal now? Okay, so sorry for this. We will try this once again. So, let's try again. As I said, there is oVirt AAA-JDBC tool, and this tool is used to manage your users and groups and password and so on. So now I will just a minute. Okay, so now it should be okay. So now we will create another user, as this was already created, but you couldn't see it. So I will create John Doe 2, and now user was added successfully. If we want to take a look how user looks like, now you can see that we have this user John Doe 2. If you want, for example, to edit this user, you will just use the edit command. So oVirt AAA-JDBC tool user edit. Now you place the username, and for example, you will you will put there the email. So we will change the email. Everything was updated successfully. We can take a look, and email is set into this user. Now we have created two users. Engine is running, so I will change to engine. So now we are in engine, and we can take a look at those users. So in the internal, we will search for users, and now we can see there are two users. The first one was created before my terminal was properly shared. The other one we created now. So you can see you can do adjustments to your users on the fly without the need of restarting engine, as it was needed, for example, for changing the password in oVirt 3.5 and earlier. So we have covered creating, showing, and editing user. Now, for example, we can share we can take a look at deleting user. It's the same as before. We will just call user delete John Doe 2. User was deleted successfully. If we take a look at the engine, and we will search the users again, you can see that John Doe 2 was deleted. So this is about the users. If we get back to the presentation, So we've covered adding, editing, deleting, showing user. There is another command called unlock. You can unlock a locked account. Account can be locked, for example, if users enters too many times wrong password or something like that. So it can be adjusted when using this command. You can unlock the command. Another part of user management is password management. This is done using command user and password reset. By default, when you create a user, its password is not set, and user cannot log in into engine. So when you create a user, you need to call user password reset and set its initial password. Using password reset, you can specify password in various ways. If you don't specify anything else, the tool will just prompt for a password. You can pass the password on the command line. You can use environment variable. You can use file, or you can set it to empty password, in the meaning that the password is not set. For example, if you allow some guest into to work with your instance, and once done, you want to disable is login and just set empty password, so user cannot log in. And when done, you can set the password for another. So this is what's used. And other important thing is that by default, when you set a new password, this password expired at the set moment as it's set. So it's needed for you to set the expiration date of the password. So let's take a look. So let's go to terminal. And previously we created user John. So yeah, here he is. So now we will set a password for him. So we will call user password reset. John username. We want our password to be set interactively, so we don't need to set anything, which is default, but we need to set this password valid to is just password expiration date. So we will set it to somewhere in the future. And yeah, I forgot the username. Yes, it just prompts for the password. So we will set the password for the user. And when done, password should be set. Looks like something bad is happening, because this operation definitely should not take that long. Okay, never mind. In the meantime, I will set the permissions for user in in engine, and we can take a look if password has been set. So, for example, let's take Let's assign a super user, so we will be able to log in with this user. Password was set. In the meantime, password was updated successfully. So I will sign out and will try to log in as this new user. So now we are logged in as user John Doe. I will return back to the admin user. And we can return to the presentation. So this was the password handling. Pretty much the same as we users we can do with groups. So we can add group, edit group, delete, or show. I will, for example, try to create a group. So let's move to terminal. And let's create some group. So the command is group add one. Just add it. We can take a look at show. Yes, group exists. If we want, we can use edit command to set display name or description if we want, but it's pretty much the same as with users, so I think it's obvious. So let's get back to the presentation. So we know how to create user, we know how to create a group, we know how to set a password. The other thing that we can do is membership management. So we can do this using group manage command. We can add a user to group. We can remove user from group. We also support nested groups, so we can add a group into another group. We can remove it, and we can show the membership. I think this is pretty straightforward. So we can, for example, create another user and assign permission to group to take a look that it actually works. So let's move to the terminal. And let's create another user. So let's add user test1. Let's add this test1 user into a group. So every time you see, you can use -1 help to show the syntax. So group manage user add, group name is group1, and using user test1, we can add user test1 into group1. Now let's get back to the and also we need to set a password for the user. So let's set the password for user test1. And when the password is set, let's go to the web admin. and assign permission to the group. So now if we take, for example, into the data center, let's take a look at permissions. We have permission. Now we can see that we have also the new group and the username test1. So we will, into group 1, we will assign permission of data center admin. And now we should be able to sign out and log in as this new user. Okay, so it looks like that the password is still not updated. Not sure what's happening because usually the password change is instant, so it's probably something with my connection. So yes, password was updated. Let's try again. Yes, so assigning permission to groups works as expected. So let's sign out and take a look at the presentation again. So this is group membership management. Other thing that we can do is querying. This is some kind of tool of displaying what users or groups exist in the system. So let's take a look how to query, because so far we presented only show options, which is limited into into showing one user. So we can do user show, but this show only one user. If we want to list, for example, all users, we can use query and minus what user, and this will display all users. Sorry, query user. Yes, this will. I will run it again to be. Yeah, so this will display all users that we have. So we have user test1, we have user John Doe, and we have user admin. If we take a look at help, we can also specify some kind of pattern. So for example, if we want to display all users which name start with which username start with J, so we can have J and asterisk, and now we can see only this user are displayed. So using query and specifying no pattern will show you all users. You can use pattern with all available attributes to filter the results, so you can display only users that you want to see. Pretty much the same can be done with users. So if we specify oVirt AAA-JDBC tools query minus what equals group, we will see the list of all groups. But currently we have only one group here. So if we get back to presentation, so this was querying, and the last thing that AAA-JDBC offers is settings. There are a lot of changes that can be changed in AAA-JDBC. So let's show how it's done. So if we execute AAA-JDBC tool settings show, this will display all settings that can be changed. There is quite a lot of them. Each settings is displayed, so it has a name, it has a value, it has type of value, and it has a description. For example, if you want to change some value, you will just run over a JDBC tool settings set minus name and the name of the settings and minus value, and this is how settings, yeah, this is how the option is changed. Of course, you can show only one value. Yes, so this was changed. So let's get back to the presentation. And this was pretty much what you can do with command line 2. Let's take a look if there are some questions. I can't see any question. So let's go on with the presentation. So as we said, this AAA-JDBC provider is configured by default for internal domain. But of course, if you need, you can define one or more domain as you need. It's similar to LDAP, when you can have multiple LDAP domain which you want to plug into oVirt. So this internal domain is configured automatically when you run engine setup. But if you want to add additional domains, you have to do this manually, and each domain requires some space in database which the users are stored. You can use local or remote PostgreSQL database. You can install it in each domain into its own database, or you can install it into the same database when you will use a specific schema name. So this AAA-JDBC and database object will be uniquely identified. This AAA-JDBC extensions has 3 important configuration files. Under etc oVirt engine extensions D, there is auth-n properties file and auth-z properties file. This properties file defines the basic configuration for AAA-JDBC extension instance for the specific profile. And in etc oVirt engine AAA, there is additional configuration file which usually contains the configuration needed to log into database. To create a new domain for AAA-JDBC is pretty straightforward. You need prepare your database or database account. When this is done, you will just execute a schema creation, which creates tables and sequences and so on. And after that, you can just copy prepared templates of those three configuration files, and you will adjust the values in it. The exact step how to do this is described in this readme.admin, which is part of the AAA-JDBC RPM, and those templates are stored in examples directory. So we have a few minutes left, so I will go to the terminal and show you how easy it is to configure new domain. So let's assume that we already have prepared our database. This database is located on the same server as engine, and this database is for simplicity called test. We can log in here as user test, and the password is test. So when your database is prepared, you will just execute the schema creation. This is done using this command when you call schema sh. When you specify the host, the database, the user, and the command. So when you execute this, you will see that the database is being created, and now you have everything needed in the database. As we said before, the other step is to adapt configuration files. So we can go to engine extension D, and we will just copy templates and adapt them into this new test domain that we want to create. So let's go to examples, extension D, and we have auth and properties, which we will copy to test auth and properties, and the same we will do with auth C. So now you can see that we have this internal, and we have also this test. Now, as we said before, we need to adapt something. So we are just, what you need to adapt is to specify profile name, which is defined between these two ads. So we will just do replacing this with this new profile name that we selected. It's test. Yes, and here at the last line you will see the link to the last file that we will create in a minute. The same thing we will do with our Z properties files. And now we need to define our database configuration. So we will again copy the prepared template, which is listed in examples AAA profile.properties, and we will copy it to test.properties, and we will adapt it. We have test properties. Now we need to adapt these configuration files. So we said that it's local database, port is standard, database name is called test. We are using test, and password is the same. So now we have everything ready. So we can. This is the only thing that engine needs to be restarted. So we will call restart. And we will wait while engine will start up. Let's wait just a few minutes until it starts. So now the engine will start it. So we can take a look at engine, at webadmin. So it takes a bit time to reconnect because it's running inside my virtual machine. And when we will be able to get into the engine, we will see that this new domain is already prepared for us. Engine knows about it, and we can add users and groups as needed for this engine, for this new AAA-JDBC provider. Not sure what it takes too long. Yeah, here we are. So you can see there is internal and this new domain test. We can log in. And we can take a look again at privileges. And you can see that besides the internal, which was before, there is also domain test, but so far with no users because we didn't create any users. So let's get back to presentation. So this is how you can create another additional domains which you can plug into a JDBC. This was the last slide. I will take a look if there are some comments or questions. I can't see any at the moment. Anyway, if you have any comments, feel free to contact me either on email or at IRC. I'll be happy to answer them. So thanks a lot for watching today.